Greetings everybody, my name is Rayvenwing and welcome back to the Desert City series. Today we'll actually be outside of the city, where I've already done a bit of terraforming because, well, there's not much out here. It is a desert, after all, but I've got some ideas to spruce it up a bit, which involves putting in a few big ol' wheat fields, some paths, some bits and pieces as decoration, and taking advantage of a few things from the newest update. The cactuses also have flowers now, which is adorable. Anyway, I think that I'm going to add some fields in two different spots. Here. And over here. But I think I'm going to start over here. I have the clearest vision of what this is going to look like so far. Okay, we are going to be trying something a little bit different. As you can see, this is a screenshot of one of the areas. I'm going to try to just roughly outline what I want to do before I do it so I can have the advantage of a bird's eye view. So when I'm building this, I think I'm going to start with the fields themselves because I have to put in the dirt for the wheat. So that's outline in like a yellow. Oh gosh, it's much harder to see the cursor. It's over here. Over here. So because my main plans with both areas is that I'm going to have the fields themselves, I'm going to have some paths that sort of wind their way through, and then I'm going to try to throw up some little details, things like wagons or barrels or little sitting areas or something that might just be around this kind of farmland. So like, I think there'll probably be a field kind of on this whole surface. I can't see that upper edge at all. But something like that, and probably also have like a field kind of here, and also probably this area will be blocked out. And like on here. Just a lot of big ovally shapes. And sort of continuing it a little down here. Because, let's get a better pointer. This is kind of the way you walk into these fields, so I kind of want you to be surrounded on either side, so there'll probably be a thin one over here. Just to get some idea for the path. Obviously it's starting in here. I'm thinking it'll come up here and trail off a little bit. Probably a little bit higher. And then there'll be an arc going over here. Sort of terminating over here. Pretty basic up into this. Might mess with that up into this for now. I'm also kind of wanting to put a little area over here for some supplies and a little shed or building and just a very, very small structure around here. The path is here. Kind of want to put a field here as well. And then most of this whole thing will be covered. Probably have field here, and field up here as well. But I want there to be a little spot up top here. So the path would need to come up here a bit and also trail down. Maybe do this. It's a bit of a weird shape, and things are obviously, as always, subject to change. But I do actually think that this has helped me to get a good mental image of what I'm going for here. And I think I'm gonna start, like I mentioned, with laying out the dirt for the fields. So let's head back into the Minecraft world and actually do it. One field. Two field. One field, two field, small field, blue field? New field. A lot more fields. And many more fields finished. I'll address this bit in a minute. But this will be the broad strokes for the fields. As you can tell, it's a little different from the drawing. I kind of added in this whole area, but I think it looks pretty good so far as a baseline. There's still some details and refining to get done, which will hopefully bring it the rest of the way. I would have done a time lapse of putting in all the dirt and all the wheat growing, but replay mod isn't updated yet, so I couldn't do that. But the upgrade is here. My previous wheat farm is that thing. And now I've got this whole thing. Now this area I initially had a plan for, but I forgot the plan, and started working on it anyway. At least until I saw this sign, which I placed here to remind me of the plan, and it did, eventually. So, now it's time to work on the paths. So this is where I'm going to start the path. And I think I'm just going to start with alternating between mushroom blocks and packed mud, and just kind of scatter them in the general direction I'm going to be placing it, and so I can place some of these other blocks in afterwards. So like, where shall the first one be? How about here? Now I just gotta do that a bunch more times. And as with many things, this is just a initial pass. And I will change things as needed. Yeah, there's a little cave down there. Let's see how many times I've fallen. I'm generally going for slightly more packed mud than mushroom blocks. Is my current plan. Let's take a quick look. Okay, oh hey, look, look, a traveling merchant. A wandering trader. He has decided to show up right on my path. Please do not step on my route. That would be very rude. Ooh. I have 3 whole emeralds. Heck yeah. I found some more. Don't trample my crops, please. That'd be very rude, sir. That didn't... I think that was already trampled. Oh, well. Didn't have that much stock. Is it? I think that's it. Anyway, nothing but focus here, can't you tell? There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to my placement here, it's mostly just trying to scatter things a bit randomly, while also not using too much mushroom blocks, because I have more mud than I do mushroom stuff. Oh, there's a bunny. Is the bunny breaking? Do bunnies not break crops? It's like hopping around. Doesn't seem to be causing any problems, that's nice. I get to destroy some of my fields, so... something like that. Let's add in some bricks. I don't want to put too many of these on this path to be fairly worn out. Like maybe at some point in time it did have some structure, but it has since faded. Not a huge change, but should add a little bit more structure. Next up I have some wood blocks. And we're gonna do it again. Just this time with some jungle planks and logs. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna do the logs as the more frequent and the planks as a little less frequent. Okay, I'm gonna go in and put some oak and birch along the edges, like the wood has faded or dried out in the sun, and hopefully it'll blend in well with the sand. I'll also go through and fill in any big gaps that my sort of random path building has left behind. Ow. Mostly fine. Okay. Look at that. I am pretty happy with those paths. I feel like those look pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. Now, as you can see, this area has been planted. There's a little path going through it and a little spot on top. I might do something with that later, but it looks like a path and it's all textured. And I'm pretty happy with the color palette. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of detailing. I think at the beginning of the episode I said something about using some of the new features in the game of the most recent update, which was a few weeks ago. And I'm going to use a couple of those things to do some texturing and add some details. We're gonna go over here. I have a very useful sign. I have many very useful signs. Because this line is a bit harsh, and so I'm going to try to fade the field out this way just a little bit, not too much. I'm not going to go too far that direction, I just want to sort of soften this edge right here. And as a sort of proof of concept, let's go this way for maximum effect. Oh, this looks pretty good so far. Can frolic in these fields, but not trample them. As a proof of concept, I added this little guy with a little area around the well, which I modified. This area was essentially a test. I wanted to make sure that stuff would work. And for the most part, I do like it. Oddly, the firefly bushes kind of blend in perfectly with the yellows and the sort of desert green color that a lot of the grass and bushes end up turning in the desert. So it fits right in and it looks really cool at night. I do have a buried one somewhere, so there are a couple of little particles. You can see them floating around. There's one over there. It looks best at night. Anyway, for the most part, I am happy about this. I feel like adding some bits of grasses, and especially the dry grass, helps to contribute a bit more texture and a bit more variation besides just the same wheat texture over and over again. I like the bit of color that the pink of the cactus flowers bring, but it is a desert, so there's not a whole lot of color, and I know that. And I tried to help a little bit with a couple of banners and the water, though you can't really see the water. But there's just... It does kind of feel like everything is a similar shade on a range from sort of tan, brown, and yellow. And so I like the amount of texture that all of this brings, but I do wish there was maybe a little bit more color. I think this works for now, though. I did add some sugarcane as well as cacti with the hope of getting some more vertical stuff around. I also tried to bring in some cherry blossoms to match with the cactus flowers. Cactus blossoms? I forgot what these are called. Cactus flowers. I put some leaf litter around just for some extra texture. It is a little annoying that a bunch of like the grass and the firefly bushes and the cherry blossoms, you can only really place them on dirt, so I couldn't place them on the sand, which is unfortunate. I honestly don't think that that will ever get old. I think that firefly bushes are probably my favorite addition in this update, which is not a hot take, but they're so pretty. There's a rustling noise. Okay, before I get too distracted. So, as you can see in some of these areas, I've kind of tried to fade the wheat field out a little bit so that it's not just a harsh where the wheat ends and the sand begins. There's a little bit of a... I don't know if it's really a gradient, but I want to try to do this around the outer edges of the whole field. Starting over here, except I'm gonna go sleep first. Anyway, so let's work on fading this little area out. I got a shulker full of supplies. Clear this of bushes I don't want and very useful signs. What I'm thinking of doing is to basically put a couple mini wheat fields up here. Let's put one here. Let's get more water. I didn't grab my extra water buckets. Actually use the well. Here. Now, I don't want to do a full-size field. Let's start with a circle and then kind of dig out from here. I'm digging with my fists instead of a shovel because I want a little bit of control. Let's go with that for the shape and do the same thing over here. Also, I'm just using coarse dirt because I don't actually have that much dirt. I do live in a desert, so I don't passively gather quite as much. So I increased my amount of dirt with some gravel by making coarse dirt, which you can do, by the way. And rather than tilling it to turn it into regular dirt before, I'm waiting until I use it because I'm using it for farmland anyway, so... It's laziness and also efficiency. What direction do I do with this? Let's see. I'll have to check, I need more dirt. Which ones of these can actually have wheat growing on them, and which ones are out of that range. Alright, if you didn't already know this, when you have a water source, it will water the land within 4 blocks on each side, so 1, 2, 3, 4 in each direction. I feel like I heard somewhere that farming with rows of dirt with water in between is faster, but I don't know if that's the case, and also I'm not exactly looking for speed here. I'm not exactly looking for efficiency in the giant decorative wheat field. I'm looking for not having to place entire rows of water. Anyway. Something like that. Let's till some. Really? I have like 3 ominous banners over there because these guys keep showing up. Anyway. Down here. Maybe just 2 for now. I want to make sure I don't go too crazy with this. I feel like when I was working on the well area over there, I went a little too hard with the dry grass. So I'm gonna scatter it and then probably bone meal it and then probably get rid of like some of it. Okay, and then I don't think these can go on the sand, so I'm just gonna throw a couple of these around. I feel like this is a bit much. I oh so subtly disguise this. I want to let me add. It won't. Let me add 1. That's interesting. It won't really let me add more than Huh. I don't know if that's intentional or... Okay. I also just kind of want to add these to some of the grass blocks to add some different texture. That's not too bad. It looks very scraggly, but it's kind of supposed to. Yeah, I think that's the gist. I'm gonna grab a couple of these down here. And honestly, throw some in at the edges that are just dry grass. Like that. Firefish there. Let's put a bit more just dead grass in here. Just like this is kind of the one of the edges, so maybe it's dying a bit. I wish I could put it on freaking sand, but I can't. Sadness. No, there goes my shears. The sheer audacity. Ooh, fireplace. Almost. I need shears. I need bone meal. Fireflies are bringing me some joy, though. Is it you that's causing problems? It's like the ranged one that's causing. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's put a temporary lantern here until I find something, some other kind of light to put there. See, I feel like putting in the tall grass helps quite a bit. Actually, let's do a quick survey to see if there's any dark spots where I forgot lanterns. There's definitely one there. You remember when I said there were 2 areas I wanted to do? That's probably not going to happen in this episode, which I will get into. Perch for a second. There you go. Okay, that does break it up and make it a little less all in one place. Just feel like I kind of want to put a couple of bits of wheat on the side of that. Let's see if I can do some hiding. Some sneaky hiding of some water sources here. It's totally concealed. You can't tell it's there. Okay, so that should be close enough. Okay. Anyway. So this looks at least roughly good. I'll check over it again once everything is grown in, if it needs any changes. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to do the same kind of thing, but over here. Similarly, just a bit messier, so it's not quite as strict and controlled. Another useful sign. Take that. So I'm just going to do this line from here to about the 2nd level, I think. Which will hopefully be fairly quick. This isn't too lengthy of a process. Rain in a little bit. Except, you know, it's the desert, so it's not going to rain here. But that does mean we get some fireflies. Which is fun. Anyway. So my list of ideas for this whole area has gotten a little out of hand. It sort of got longer before it ever got shorter. As I was working on this, I just kept on coming up with, oh, what if I add something like this over here? Or what if I change this or modify that? At some point I was stopping for the night and I decided to jot down what I had left to do on a couple of signs to help me keep track of a sort of to-do list. and reminders to make sure that I don't forget some of the stuff that I was planning to do. And when I ended up needing like 5 signs just to lay out the bullet points of the general ideas I wanted to do, I took that as a sign that I might want to split this episode. Because I am quite excited for a lot of these other ideas. There's a lot of elements that I want to add to this landscape, and if I were to try to squish all of them into one episode, I would feel pressure to brush over some of these later additions, and I honestly I don't want to do that. I want to have as much fun with those as I have already been enjoying with the rest of this process, and I want to give them their proper screen time and attention, and I also want to build them well. Speaking of, there was a generated well where mine is currently. I just got the idea during the process to modify it and make a little area around it, and that's one of these new things. So I guess, not surprisingly for someone who's never really done a landscape before in Minecraft, probably gonna take a little longer than expected, so I'm going to continue this in the next episode. I'm laughing at myself at the beginning of this episode saying that I was gonna try to do 2 whole areas in one episode. But like I said, I haven't done this specific type of project before. So, we are learning. We're learning that these take time. Anyway, I will be continuing this project in the next episode. I will be doing a little bit more texturing and fading of the fields to make everything blend nicely, and I will be adding a few different structures and features and hopefully a little bit of color. I have a couple of ideas that I'm hoping will bring a bit of color to this desert landscape. Anyway, like I said, I will be continuing this in the next episode, and I hope that you will join me in figuring out how you make landscapes like this. So, I will see you next time. Bye! Head empty, no thoughts, no brain. I can see the wheat growing. I can sit here and watch grass grow. That'll be very exciting. Excellent content. I missed. Wow. I'm doing great. So look how spooky it looks. I'm really not flying well today. Okay. That's fine.